What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Today we're going to continue with my breakdown of the IFBB Pro Olympian physiques. So far we've done, let's see, Cutler, Phil Heath, Kai Green, I think Rami, right? Okay, so let's keep going with that top five. Let's go with Dennis Wolf. Alright, I know some of you guys are big Wolf fans. And one of the coolest things now when you go to see Wolf on stage, which, you know, the Olympia is probably the only place now, besides the Prague, I think he was. In the crowd, when he comes out, all the people go, "Arr!" Like they howl at him, and it is badass, dude. There is no doubt about it that, you know, his fans are you know, out there, and he's got a big following now. And I mean, I guess he always has, but the better he's been doing at the Olympia, and the more he's been out there on the videos with BSN and stuff, the bigger following he's been getting, and for good reason. He's a good bodybuilder, and he's a nice guy. Period. The first interaction I had with Dennis, so I saw him for the first time, was the same place I saw Kai, where Kai said that I had a good physique backstage, was the Keystone Classic 2007, which was the pro component attached to the Lehigh Valley Championships. And I just remember seeing him, and Dennis wound up winning that show, and he looked phenomenal. I remember seeing him backstage going, holy shit, he's tall. He's not a short dude, he's tall. He's over 6 feet tall. And wide. He's about as wide as the day is long. And I remember thinking, like, and I didn't really know who he was. You know, he was first coming out then. He was a big dude. He had good symmetry. He could pose good. He won that show. Now, the first time I actually ever interacted with Dennis was in 2009. Kevin, me, and Rick pulled up at the, was the Holiday Inn, the Hyatt, or wherever the host hotel for the Pittsburgh is. And he was standing outside with his wife. And we got out, and, you know, the windows were tinted on the truck, and he's just kind of standing there like... And we got out, and he saw Kevin, and his face lit up. Hey, Kevin. And I'm looking at him. This was his off-season now. He was well over 300 pounds. And on that frame, I was like, holy shit. And he was just a nice guy. You know, he has a hard time putting his words together sometimes English-wise. But, like, his personality comes across that, you know, he doesn't even have to say the words he wants to say, and you kind of get it and laugh, and he's just a good dude. Now, let's speed up to the Olympia this year, and I'll give you my breakdown of Dennis this year. Now, his posing routine, bar none, is badass. All right, Dennis is one of those old school Arnold-like posers. Okay, he does poses that, you know, like twisting double biceps and stuff like that, that a lot of the guys attempt nowadays and don't really pull off. He's got a lot of lunges in his routine, and he's a big guy to be moving around and twisting like that, and he does it with ease. He's really good at posing. He picks his songs that, it's not one of like a rap song, the guy stomps on stage and hits a couple poses, or heavy metal, oh, here we come, metal. It's like fluid, powerful, like classical music, which, again, I can appreciate. Now, nowadays, a lot of people don't pay attention to their posing. The pros of the Olympia did. All of them posed great, but Dennis kind of stood out a little bit because he has different transitions than the other guys have. So he knows not only how to do the pose, but he knows how to get from one pose like into the next one without looking choppy or sloppy or robotic. So, you know, posing-wise, he's probably the best that, you know, was in the Olympic period. As far as physique-wise, there was something definitely funky going on with his physique this year. And it was in his arms, his biceps specifically. Now, I don't think Dennis is trying to get any bigger at this point. He doesn't need to get any bigger. He's 270, 280 pounds in shape. He's trying to fill out spots like in his mid-back to lower back, which he did. Bring up his calves. And, I mean, symmetry-wise, he's one of the more symmetrical guys out there. Hardness, he's usually pretty dry. Big, he's big. So what is it about his physique that, you know, doesn't always land him in the top five? Well, there are pieces, like, unless he hits certain poses, they're missing. So certain poses he looks like, oh my God, there's Mr. Olympia. Then he hits another pose and you're like, the fuck? What is missing? I can't figure it out. Like, for a long time, those holes in his back were missing. You know, he hits a side chest, not one of his stronger poses. He hits that front lat spread, one of his more powerful poses. So he, you know, he wins, or he does well in certain poses, not others. And I think that's where his area is now, that he's trying to, I guess, just polish up his physique. Bring up areas that are lacking, because there's not too many left. And, you know, his Achilles heel was always that back. He did it. He brought it up. So, I mean, except for the funkiness in his arms, which I personally think, when I looked at it, first thing that ran through my mind was some kind of Palumboism. Second thing that ran through my head is, it's some kind of site injection. Whether it's an anabolic or it's synthol or whatever it is. I don't think it's going to be a synthol because of the size of the guy. I don't think he needs synthol in any of his body parts. I think it's a site injection that just swelled up in a weird, strange way and made his biceps look weird. But he did come in dry. He nailed his conditioning. I don't know who he worked with this year, but whoever he worked with this year, he should stay with. And I don't really see a whole lot of room for improvement on him. I really don't. Just those couple little areas that he needs to get to pop while he's on stage, and that's it. Now, that being said, do I ever think he'll take the Olympia? Anything is possible. You know, let's say Kai and Phil both have some kind of freak thing where they come off, and they're, you know, not showing a whole lot of separation in certain areas where Dennis is. Specifically that rear double bicep, the glute area, and then in the most muscular poses, if he's able to be drier and bigger than them, yeah, there's a possibility he could win it. Do I think it will happen? I don't think it'll happen. I think that everything is too planned out and too coordinated with Phil and Kai both for them to come that far off where he'll beat them. So honestly, I don't see him going any higher than where he's at now. I mean, honestly, I hate to say it because he's a good guy and I like this guy. He's very cool. I love to watch him pose. He did this, you know, a lot of the pros this year of the Olympians rather, had their own music mix that had songs that literally had their name in the song. So they were rap songs. It was like Victor Martinez coming back. Like they had all these cool things. And Dennis had this intro to his routine. He comes out and he kneels down on one knee, and he puts his fist on the ground like Superman getting ready to take off. And all of a sudden you hear heh 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 heh, ow, and he looks up as the howl happens, and the crowd went fucking crazy. And that was the first time of the night that they really went nuts. Was when he came out and that howl happened. So I mean, he's a good entertainer. I just don't see him cracking that top spot. And you know, I may get bashed for it, but the bottom line is there's other guys that are not even up to par yet, like Sean Roden, who's coming on quick, who's got the physique like Kai, similar to Kai, and Phil with the roundness and the fullness. And who knows who else is out there that, you know, we don't even know about that's coming up. So we'll see. But that's just my opinion, my take on it. I like the guy. I'm not knocking him. I think he's got a great physique. And I wish the best to him. I really do. Bios3training@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.bios3training.com is the blog, and wear the long sleeve bicep pose, and we're out.